Welcome back to the Great Patriotic War. Finally, turns out the game cloud saves, so we can pick right back where we left off. And hopefully we'll get some nice graphics, and maybe the game will run a little bit faster when we turn the turn, because I ended up building a new computer. So all good things. Last time, I think, if I remember right, I didn't rewatch the video or anything, but I think we had just turned the turn, so I don't think we missed too much. I take that back. It looks like we maybe already did the air turn. So either way, that's still pretty awesome. We were able to play, at least. To be honest, I was a little bit excited to try out a new campaign, because this one is kind of scuffed, but I really didn't want to abandon it. So I would have only done that if I had been forced to. But this is looking good. I don't know about the viewers at home, but visually the game looks so much crisper. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe it's just a bigger monitor and can actually read the numbers. It's amazing. But basically, we're kind of screwed in multiple places all along the front. So Smolensk is about to fall. We're about to lose Kiev. We're probably about to lose Odessa within a few turns. And this front here is looking very scary as well. We don't have any reinforcements for the south just yet. The enemy is poking their head over the Dnieper here. And despite our best efforts, we basically couldn't get any forces there in time. So we're now looking at what is the better half of Panzer Army, probably coming up behind this from Army Group South. I say Army Group South, and I assume that's all that it is. Could be Antonescu, I don't know. I don't really know the Nazi side all that well, because I've never played it, but what we do have here is an Italian unit, the 3rd Principe Armado Italia Solare Division, which I assume probably has some light vehicles along with it. I mean, I doubt it's just regular cavalry, but maybe it is. Who knows? It is 1941. And then we got some Hungarians around, Hungarian motorized, and some security. And then the scary guys we have, looks like a 13th Panzer, and the 14th Panzer right there, and then we got a bunch of motorized divisions as well. So a lot of strength in this area, and we have a couple units of the 6th and 12th armies. Really nothing to write home about in this area. So honestly, the main goal is going to be trying to contain some of these issues down here, and to do that, I'm not sure what kind of force we can bring to bear, because at the same time we're also getting pushed back hard on the left by infantry, so we can't just ignore the infantry threat. Now, this turn we did bring in a whole bunch of tanks and cavalry. We brought in the kitchen sink, basically. But these all pretty much have to be used to contain this breakthrough over here, which is a very dangerous breakthrough, I might add. And we got to figure out some way to defend Moscow, essentially. So the whole Oka River line here is definitely at risk within a turn or two. I mean, even if we can get those guys up there, they got no prep points. They're just going to be lambs for the slaughter, essentially. So, not great news there. We will organize them, and we'll definitely send a batch of them down to the south, because the southern front is just wide open. There's nothing here. It's going to be tough to do any sort of defense until like the Kharkov-Rostov line. And even then, I mean, they're going to break through so fast that it's going to be hard to do much. So, I mean, I'm tempted just to start throwing troops in the Kharkov region, and just assume that we're going to lose all the Donetsk, just because there's no good place. There's so much open grounds where their tanks are just going to drive. It's going to be hard to defend. I kind of feel the same way once we get past the Oka River further north. It's like, where do we stand? Excuse me. By the way, happy July 4th. I'm recording this on July 4th, so ironic, but question is, do I want to bail across the river in the north? I'm going to do what I normally do and work north to south, but let's see if we can bring anything down. 6th Leningrad militia, pretty much unready. Got some really bad supply statuses here too. Yikes. Very yikes. I mean, I would like to get them down to here, but I don't think that's really feasible. Jesus, this cavalry division is throwing up so little. Just because they have no prep points. That's only 3,500 men. And this barely makes it a division, but whatever. I'm going to do it anyway. God, I don't remember any of the details over here. Just give them to the army. Why is one of them over the limit? This guy. Was I gonna send this tank away? I think I was. I think I was gonna send this tank further south. That was the original plan. So let's just do that. Choo-choo. I'll give him to the 49th Army. And then we will take him off his train. That's not a rail yard? Huh. Oh well. Is there a nearby rail yard? There is down there. No, that's the level 1 as well. Interesting. Alright. Okay, that's cool. Well, hopefully he gets extra supply anyways. I don't really know how that works. Alright, so now this guy should be okay. 32nd Army, yeah. Who's leading the 32nd Army? Klykov. He seems new-ish. He's only had 2 battles. I mean, his stats aren't very good for combat. They could be worse, certainly, but not good. This thing is unready as well. I think we'll send this back to Leningrad. We'll just get him give him to like the 55th Army or something useless. Why is the Leningrad front at 92? What the hell? What's going on there? Well, I don't have anyone under him for now, so let's do that. Why is he at 92? I think I need to give another army back to Northwestern Front. I think I accidentally moved an army at some point. So he has 3 divisions and an airborne corps. Let's oops. 75. Does he have anything directly going to him? He does. He has this tank division. 24th Tank Division. Where the hell is that? Stacked underneath this crap. I don't see any reason why you need to be going to him. Give him to the 8th Army. Gets us up to 75 now. I'm trying to just reorganize things so that we're not over our limits. 73. I guess I could just send a fort back to Stavka. I think that would get us under. Okay, what about Northwestern Front? Where the hell is it? Oh, it's under here. It's at 76. He's got like a couple extra divisions. Well, I could certainly put this back to Stavka. It's out of range anyways. Down to 74. I need to get rid of a couple more things. Just stick some of these forts there. I think I might leave those guys there. Like, I know they're kind of cut off, but I don't really want to move back into that space either. And 14 against 10 it's going to be tough for them. I do think we need to shorten this line a little bit. And that means we'll probably have to reorganize the 8th Army here. So if I put the 8th Army all right here, that leaves this really weak. Tricky. It's just a militia unit. I mean, at least this is heavy woods. More defensible than the other terrain. Alright, let's just shift these guys over. I mean, that's barely 3. Oh wait, he's a basic army. Put him on reserve. I think they're gonna hit this space here and just wreck it, or this one and wreck it again. But either way, at least feel a little bit better about our chances there. Not exactly defense in depth now, is it? Oh, Jesus. How about this gap here? What are we going to do here? So I'm trying to keep Novgorod alive for one more turn. Would be amazing. Maybe we can swing it. I don't know. Oh, I just realized that army is going to... $73 still. What if I give this guy over to the 22nd Army? Kind of march him like right here. Takes him off that front. There we go. We're down to 71. I don't think Kuznetsov would have better statistics. I mean, he's got a good political, but that's about it. I don't know. Honestly, he's almost worth replacing. I could always give it to Zhukov. I think I have Zhukov available. Maslenikov is so much better. I mean, almost every way. Almost wish he was a front commander. This is kind of concerning. I mean, this is a 12. I'll probably survive. And those are pretty fresh. I mean, that's about as good as it gets there. They only have 3 artillery. Let's give it a little bit more punch. Give it another full core artillery. Maybe we'll give it some high power artillery. And... another sapper. Gotta send some of this artillery back to get refit. What do we have here? Astanin. Not terrible stats, actually. I guess that's probably why I kept him. What about the 32nd Army? Klykov, we already decided that he was gonna stay for now. What about the 8th Army? Who's in the 8th Army? Sabenikov. He's really not good. 10 points to replace him. I mean, he does hold a pretty important position. Major General Sabenikov. What are our other options? We could do... yeah, it's almost a waste. 7 infantry though, 5 mech. He's a major general though. The guy's just a general, unfortunately. Govarov. Maybe he's a good option. He hasn't been beat up too bad yet. It's Ivan Petrov. I was reading about him the other day, actually. He has an interesting career. He's very young. I think this is this guy I'm thinking about. He was really young, but he got moved up through the ranks really quickly. Wonder who my worst general is that I have assigned. This guy is the 52nd Army. Wonder where that is. I don't think I'm going to replace him right now. I'm going to leave him as is for another turn. I know it's probably going to bite me in the butt, but I'm thinking that I'm going to have more important places to replace generals. 28th Army, Perkeyev. We've already established that he's doing a pretty good job. Because this front's actually holding pretty well. I mean, for his little 28th Army is fending off quite a big push from, the better part of really 5 divisions that they threw at us. And he has been able to slow him down significantly. So I've been happy overall with his performance, but will it hold up? Who knows? Would like to get something else onto the line, though. Maybe you? He's on refit. He only has 3 combat prep points. It's not usually what you like to see. So now these guys are not prepped, but we can at least deploy them along the Pola River. I don't think we can hold the Levat at this point because these 2 divisions down here are already so far up. 122nd and 162nd Germans are already like practically to the Levat here. So I don't think we can necessarily hold that as much as I would like to. That would eat up a lot of his fatigue. I think I'm gonna march this guy back. Just have him continue to refit. It's such a damn shame that that's not a level 2. And then as for these guys, I could march them down here. Just throw them into the fray. They'll get mangled, but at least it would maybe slow the Germans down enough so that we could get our other divisions up. I mean, we gotta send at least one onto the line. Otherwise, we're just gonna get surrounded here. What is that? It's a clear hex. Maybe I should at least pull back across the river. I don't think I have anything in this air base, so. No, I don't. I pulled out of there a while ago. But if we were to retreat everything back here and here, so the line would be like 1, 2, 3. And then I would leave that division up front, and then they would pull back to here, potentially. Could see that working. It's going to eat up a lot of their combat prep. But they only have 3, so it's not a huge loss. Could take them off the line and put them here. Yeah, let's do that. See. So these guys are going to swing up back to the Polar River line. And we will start setting up in the woods. I think that's still in range, right? Yeah. So they're eventually going to swing up here. Okay, in the meantime, we can start marching into the hills behind it. Just start setting up along the Polar River, I guess. This guy can make it pretty far. Oh, he's got a lot of combat prep points. I hate to waste doing that. But at the same time, if I could just get him in there, it might work. Ooh, 2830. Let's give this tank division. Oh, I already moved him once. All right, rifle division it is. To the 48th Army. Oh shit, that's far away. Oops. Oh well. We could just march the 48th Army back a little bit. No biggie. Damn, that's not a rail. Oof. God, this is a pain in the butt over here. I think we kind of have to make this a depot. I know it's really close to this other depot here, but I feel like it needs another one. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, we'll see what happens with the supplies. Okay, so the 48th Army, 22nd Army, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted before. So if I put him here, still leaves that out of command. So let's give this over to the 48th Army. And pray that they don't come into contact this turn. All right. Now this Garbo here. He goes to the 11th Army on reserve, but yeah, we'll see how this works. Eventually we'll probably bring these guys up a little bit further. It's a big gap though. Don't really like leaving that much of a gap. But he's still be in range. Alright, let's test it there. Still in range there. Okay, perfect. Is that still in range? That's in range of those. Ah, nasty. Not what you love to see, but well, hopefully that kind of works. What's the worst that can happen? Get encircled? I think this will work just fine. See, like if I put a depot right there, it's actually a really nice spot. I'm just gonna do it. I don't even care. I need something that brings in supplies there, so. All right, well, we're getting down pretty far on the front. At least we've kind of connected the Kalinin front to the northwestern front now. What I would love to do going forward is eventually transition the northwestern front armies, kind of flip-flop their positions here. I don't know when I'll ever get a chance to do that, probably not until the rail line is more threatened. But sooner rather than later, we're going to have to pull back the 8th Army and use that as our last ditch Leningrad Defense Army. So it's coming. It's coming. Oh boy. As far as the Central Front goes, I mean, things are looking pretty hairy, so got a lot of stuff that I'm trying to refit right now. That's actually refitting pretty quickly. That's good to know. Stavka's getting something done. Western Front itself is pretty much just this little group around Smolensk now. If I don't pull them out this turn, they're going to get encircled. There's no way around it. I have to pull out now while I still have a line to retreat. So this is going to be the last turn for Smolensk. Very sad, but it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Got to get these 16 MiGs out of there. Yeah, I hate to see it go, but it lasted a good long while. I mean, it's September, basically, and we still had Smolensk. So, let's get everyone out. All right. The abandonment of Smolensk. Get him on the side of the river here. That would probably be somewhat safe. Although this stuff is bashed. There's hardly anything left on it. I think we'll do that in the next episode. We'll do the Central Front. Try to sort out the Bryansk reinforcements. Although calling them Bryansk reinforcements is kind of ironic considering Bryansk itself is in Nazi hands now. This just happened so fast. Like, these panzers blew through me. It was so crazy. Just such a strong little panzer army there. And they are very threatening, so I got to try to do something to sort that out. Pretty sure that the Oka River line can be held, however briefly, and hopefully that'll give a reserve some time to build some combat prep points, perhaps for a defense on the Don River line. But I mean, that's a lot of hexes to get to the Don. I didn't realize how far apart those. Like, on some maps, the Don and the Oka River look like they're right on top of each other in this region. When Prigozhin's little column was driving up to Voronezh. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Voronezh. What's this road's called the M4, I think, in real life. And on the maps, it looked like, the Oka River and the Don River are very, very close. But here, this looks like so far. It's crazy. That's the thing I love about this map, is it really shows you the scale. Like the distance just to get to Moscow is so far. It doesn't look far on a big enough map. Like, if you zoom all the way out, yeah, it doesn't look super far, but once you start actually doing it, it's crazy far. Especially when your movement points are limited to, like, at best, like 20 movement points. Let's see, what's my furthest movement points I have? Like 35. Yeah, I mean, you can't get that far. They can't even drive all the way there. They're 100% combat prepped, and they still can't get all the way to the Don River from the Dnieper, which, again, on the map doesn't look that far. But I guess, like, the whole Ukraine war currently is taking place basically in, like, the equivalent of, like, 1, 2, 3, like 6 hexes. That's the whole war so far. The depth of the front is has been like 6 hexes max. In a lot of places, it's been like for instance, around here, it's been like maybe 4 hexes, 5 hexes the entire war in Ukraine. So when you think of it from that perspective, World War II level mobility is just crazy. Just thinking that in the same amount of time that it's taken to go 5 hexes in 2023, or 22 to 23, the Nazis went like 100 hexes to Stalingrad. Like, that's crazy. Just to think about the amount of area that had to be just driven through. It's crazy. And all with 1940s technology. So hopefully we don't let them get to Stalingrad early. Although it's not looking good in the south. But the goal for next time, pretty much just to clean up the center, come up with some sort of plan to handle this Panzer Army here, and figure out if there's a potential to encircle it and at least cut off its supplies and slow it down a bit. I did play around with that a little bit earlier, but with a very weak force. So maybe with a stronger force you could pull it off. Not too sure. Maybe in future campaigns I'll try stuff like that, but the goal of this campaign is just survival. Survival is, if it's possible at this point. I've messed up so many things. I'm sure it is possible, but it's going to be hard. I really put myself in a hole in a lot of places. Mostly the South, honestly. The South has just been horribly mismanaged by me. I should have brought in reinforcements there earlier, set up a better line. I should have defended the Dnieper earlier. I didn't think to stretch out along the banks far enough. So in retrospect, I would have done more to defend it and less to defend Kiev, maybe. Because I think Kiev, I could have just kind of used it as like a fortress, tried to hold the banks of the Dnieper, and not focus so much on slowing them down to the fullest extent of my capabilities. I should have preserved more of my mobile forces to defend the spread out areas. Instead, I had kind of thrown in all my tanks early on back on the border of Poland, and I lost way too many tanks for no good reason. Just fighting. But we'll find some way to recover. We also, next time, we'll do our plans for reinforcements, probably. I know I normally do that last, but I think whatever reinforcing we're going to do is going to come in the north. And honestly, I think most of the stuff this turn is going to be sending things back. In particular, I think we're going to have to send back a lot of artillery that's on the map right now. So if it's like all these ones at the bottom here, they say unready, I think I'm going to send all of these back. In fact, I'm just going to do that right now. Let's filter by unready, and we'll just send all of these back. These are all assigned to Stavka, right? So shouldn't be a problem. Let's just send them all back to the reserves. So we'll spend some time in the commander's report next time trying to do some of that. I've also looked into installing a visual mod of some sort to make this red, the Soviet color a little bit less jarring. I think one of the big reasons people don't play the Soviets in this game, or play them as much, is because the screen looks kind of unreadable at times with the red. So I would like to, if anybody knows about good visual mods for the Soviet side, let me know, because I would definitely consider trying to make this a little bit easier on the eyes and maybe look better on camera as well, because having watched my own videos a few times, it's like kind of unreadable in some cases, especially the commander's report is the worst. Yeah, I've thought about different ways to present the commander's report. Like maybe I just export it to Excel, but then we're just kind of watching a spreadsheet. I know that's basically what the game already is, but another thing I think I'm going to probably do is start locking some more of these support levels, because earlier in the game I had done a bunch of these 3s, and I want to go back through and change the 3s to locked. I want to lock them all. I don't want to have them at 3, because I think I'm just giving these guys too much stuff. And I just need to do it in a more organized way. So I'll just go through and look at everyone who's a 3 or higher, or who's more than a 0 and not locked. Because we need to, at this point in the war, we need to focus all of our artillery in one area, I think. We need to give a lot more artillery to just one front. And historically, that was the central front that got everything. So the Western Front did get more artillery and stuff early on, but in our case, it might be good to give it to the Southwestern Front, in hopes that they can delay a little bit more effectively. The other option is we give it to like the Bryansk Front, and use them as kind of a buffer zone. Because I think our historically the big threat to Moscow eventually comes from the north. Because this army here, this Panzer Army, punches all the way through, past Rzhev, up towards Kalinin, and then comes down towards Moscow. So it goes like along this route here. And this is kind of like their farthest advance. But I think in the game, it's actually probably very easy for the Germans to kind of beeline north. Like, so they go out into whatever this is here, the Oka River Basin, whatever this is. Basically the area between Orel and Lipetsk. And I think this is such good tank country that if I were playing as the Germans, that's where I would want to get to and come up from Tula, like that direction, rather than kind of take the Pergozin route rather than the historical German route. Just because there's going this way, like if they had sent both the tank armies towards like almost straight east here and then just turned straight north towards Moscow, I think that even though it's further in distance, I think it would have been better for them. And then just let the infantry mop us up as we hand off. But the fact that they split their tank armies like this, like they did historically, although the splits aren't quite where they're pretty close to where they were, but splitting the tank army here with the intent to encircle us, I assume, is, I don't know. It's not what I would have done. I think I would have focused on a bigger breakthrough. Because now, if I can use these forces to hold them they could be slowed enough that they won't have time to make the turn north. But we will have to see that. Until next time, hope to see you back in the Great Patriotic War. See ya.